Have you ever looked at a true champion in sports, in business, you name it, and just wondered, what is their secret? You know it's something more than just talent or luck. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the one thing that truly separates them from everyone else, their mindset.
So, first things first, let's just completely tear down the biggest myth out there, the idea of the born champion. Their journey doesn't start at the top of the mountain. Nope. It starts exactly where most of us are, at the bottom, looking up. Contrary to what we see in the highlight reels, champions don't just show up with superhuman strength. They start out feeling weak, facing the exact same physical and mental limits as anybody else. And that rock-solid confidence we all admire, that's not how it begins. In fact, it's usually the total opposite. The reality at the start is filled with uncertainty, with self-doubt, and that nagging fear of just not being good enough. So this is the part you really gotta let sink in. Every single champion begins exactly where you might be right now. Small, without all the answers, and, pretty much unnoticed. Their story starts with humility, not with a trophy.
This brings us right to the heart of it. If it's not some God-given strength or confidence or even raw talent that makes the real difference, then what is it? It all comes down to the framework they use to think. It's their mindset. Okay, so let's actually put these two mindsets side by side. The difference between them is, well, it's night and day. And it really reveals everything about why some people succeed and others just don't.
So on one hand, you have the average mind. It's basically driven by avoiding pain. Its main questions are all about comfort. Is this easy? Is this safe? But the winner's mind, it's on a totally different wavelength. It's driven by one thing: progress. It doesn't just put up with being uncomfortable. It actually leans into it because it knows that's where the growth is. This right here, this is the question that cuts through all the noise. Winners don't wait to feel motivated. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They ask this one simple, powerful question that demands an immediate answer and, more importantly, immediate action. So if the mindset is the what, then discipline is the how. This is their operating system, the set of rules they live by, especially when no one is watching. Now, this is a huge deal. Most people run their lives based on feelings. I don't feel like it, so they don't do it. But winners know that feelings come and go. They're temporary, so they build their foundation on something solid, something permanent: discipline. They do the work first and let that feeling of motivation catch up later.
Think about it. How do you see pain? The average mind sees it as a warning, a signal to stop. But the winner's mindset, it completely flips the script. That moment when your body or your mind is screaming at you to quit, that is the exact moment that real growth is happening. Pain isn't a stop sign, it's a welcome sign. We live in a world that is obsessed with applause and recognition, right? But champions, they're chasing something else: improvement. The real work, the gritty, hard stuff that actually builds greatness, that happens far away from the spotlight. It's that unglamorous, repetitive, silent effort, day in and day out, that forges a winner. Adversity, it's the great filter. When things get tough, most people just stop. They'll call it taking a break or finding balance. But let's be honest, a lot of the time, it's just fear wearing a clever disguise. For a winner, hitting a wall doesn't mean the end of the road. It just means it's time to adjust, adapt, and find another way forward. Quitting is it's not even on the table. And that leads to this incredibly powerful idea of ownership. A winner absolutely refuses to be a victim. They just don't waste energy pointing fingers, not at their past, not at their circumstances, not at other people. They know that blame is a complete dead end. And here's the payoff. This is why they refuse to blame. Because the instant you take total responsibility for everything in your life, the good, the bad, all of it, is the exact same instant you grab the steering wheel. You take control. You can't change what you don't own. Simple as that. All right, so we've talked about the actions, the doing. But now let's go inward. Because the toughest battles you'll ever fight aren't out there in the world. They're fought in the 6 inches between your ears. Look, failure is going to happen. The real difference is how you react to it. The average reaction is to take it personally, to ask, why me? It feels like an attack. The winner's reaction? They see it as pure information. Failure isn't who you are, it's just data. It's a lesson telling you what didn't work, which is exactly the feedback you need to win next time. We all have these two voices in our head, right? There's the voice of comfort that's always whispering, just quit, slow down, take it easy. And then there's the voice of growth that says, keep going, you're not done yet. A champion hears both of those voices, just like everyone else. Their victory is simply in which one they choose to obey. This is all about playing the long game. See, winners aren't looking for a magic bullet. They're building a fortress, brick by brick. They understand the incredible power of compounding. Those small, almost insignificant actions, when you repeat them with relentless consistency day after day, eventually they grow into something massive and totally unstoppable. And let's be real for a second. There's a social price to this level of dedication. As you really commit to your path, not everyone's gonna get it. Friends might drift away, the invitations might stop coming. A winner accepts this isolation because they know that the pain of regret is so much heavier than the pain of walking alone for a little while. So, after all the discipline, the inner battles, and the lonely work, what's the end result? What does this mindset actually create? This is where it all comes together. This is it. This is the outcome. It's not some overnight success story. It's undeniable strength that has been forged in the fire of consistency, hammered into shape by discipline over a long period of time. And that, right there, is maybe the most empowering idea of all. Greatness isn't some single event. It's not a lottery ticket you just happen to find. It is the sum total of thousands of tiny decisions. The decision to get up when the alarm goes off, to do one more rep, to learn from a mistake, to choose discipline when comfort is calling your name. So we've seen it, right? Being a champion isn't about where you start.